Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Aussie, 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 oi, 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 is what the party people are saying. Matter of fact, you know I'm all about the Australians, man. They got some fighters down there. Australian fighters deserve more respect. They deserve more respect. Australia has some really, really good fighters, but there's one guy in particular who's leading the pack. And matter of fact, let's do this. Because Jai Opetaia, when this guy gets in the ring, you know what's going to happen. Somebody's going to get their ass whooped. Anyway, check this out. He's got a fight coming up under Zuffa boxing. It's kind of unique, but for those who don't know who Jai Opetaia is, check him out, man. 29 wins, 23 KOs, 6'2", 76-inch reach. He gets in the ring, more than likely he's going to knock somebody out. And what makes him so exciting is he's even vulnerable when he's inside the ring because he's so offensive-minded in that southpaw style. And he's so explosive. He's not in there to tickle, coochie coo, and chicken peck you. He's in there to put the Aussie bean beans on you, the Samoan bean beans. He's not there to play. Now, he does have a fight coming up. Again, it's going to be on Zuffa Boxing. It's for the undisputed Cruiserweight distinction. Oh, no, it's for the Zuffa Cruiserweight title. They only have one champion, one title per weight division. So the winner of the fight between Jai Opetaia and this guy, Brandon Glanton, will become the Zuffa Cruiserweight champion. Now, that's a little bit different, and we just have to get used to Zuffa boxing and what they're doing. They're kind of in the zygotic stages, so more to come on them. But I'm going to tell you something. This guy, Brandon Glanton, he's tough. He's never been knocked out, but I'm going to tell you, he is tough as hell. Very, very durable. He's got power too, 21 wins, 18 KOs. He does have 3 losses. But Brandon Glanton is 6 feet tall. He has a 79-inch reach, so he has like a 3-inch reach advantage on Opetaia. Now, Glanton is not a guy who's sitting back trying to jab and float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. He's trying to get in there and knock you out. And again, it's just a battle of attrition with a guy like him because he is really, really tough. 85% KO ratio for him, 79% KO ratio for Jai Opetaia. Now, I just want to point out something here. With Jai Opetaia, he's undefeated, widely seen as the top active fighter at 200 pounds. You got interesting stuff going on with. You got to excuse me. I'm still getting over this damn flu and bronchitis. It's going on 2 weeks. You believe that? And I still got a damn cough. But you got David Benavidez about to fight Zurdo, and the winner of that would hopefully fight the winner of this. But, I mean, you just don't know how it's all going to play out. But the bottom line is, when it comes to Jai Opetaia, his strengths, fast hands, sharp boxing IQ, footwork is on point. He has a high knockout rate, and he has experience in title fights. You know, he has, in recent form, he's had, several consecutive knockouts and quality wins. You know what I'm saying? And again, I'm telling you, that southpaw style typically uses his jab and angles to set up the big shots. He can box, be aggressive when needed. Jai Opetaia can do it all. So overall, Opetaia looks like the more complete boxer between him and Glanton, who can dictate range and tempo. So on paper, I mean, it's not even because I just like saying Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi. Jai is the favorite, and he should be the favorite. Now, when it comes to Brandon Glanton, he's a veteran, man. The guy's been doing this for a while. He has solid power. He has experience. His strengths, hard puncher. He has a high KO percentage. He's never been stopped. I'm going to say that again. He's never been stopped. He's gritty, he's tough, and he's dangerous if he lands clean. He has power. He could come out here and upset the apple cart and hurt Opetaia. You just don't know what happened when you got a power punch in the ring. 2 power punchers offensive-minded. Someone's going to get hit. Someone's going to get hurt. And I'm going to be honest with you, it could be either one of them. But Jai seems to be a bit more polished. But all I'm saying is when you end up with somebody with power, all that polish and skills and all that shit doesn't matter. If they hit you, it's going to hurt and they could put you down. But in recent form, there were some mixed results. He had some close losses to quality fighters, but he did have a recent KO over Marcus Brown, who's an Olympian, and Marcus Brown's an outstanding fighter. He stands in the orthodox stance, so we're going to basically see a foot fight between Jai and this guy here, Brandon Glanton. But I just want to see who's going to be able to line the other person up for the shots. But overall, Glanton, he's the underdog. I saw a couple people picking him to win. I was surprised. But the objective threat exists because of his power and experience, and that's why I think some people are picking him to win this fight. But I guess I just got to be crystal clear. He's not favored to outbox Opetaia, and he will not outbox Opetaia. His best bet is to try to land something big and then be out in the breeze. Now, trying to break this down tactically, look, key advantages for Opetaia. Pace and the skill edge, like I mentioned a moment ago. Opetaia has superior fundamentals. The jab is on point, the footwork's on point, the southpaw stance leaves opponents dazzle. That should give him control of range and control of rhythm. He's got power, timing. I mean, the guy Glanton again, his chin hasn't been broken, but he's taking some hard shots, but he comes right back. But I just think Opetaia's combination punching and precision, it could overwhelm him if Glanton isn't careful. And when it comes to the ring IQ, Opetaia tends to adapt mid-fight better, using angles to neutralize pressure. And Opetaia has a quality I like to describe as being able to up it in a fight. Those special fighters, you see them in a fight and they just have the ability to up it and elevate themselves, during a fight where they could be in trouble, and somehow they dig deep and they up it and they turn the tide, and next thing you know, they get a knockout or they go on to get the decision. But I think a win scenario for Opetaia is for him to try to maintain distance, use that jab, and turn Glanton's forward momentum into counter shots. So I expect Opetaia to win by decision or mid-fight stoppage if he consistently lands power combinations. But I'm telling you, Brandon Glanton is going to be there as a formidable opponent, as a durable guy, and to really test and push Opetaia. But let's be real, Glanton's being brought in to lose. Now, when it comes to Glanton, although I think he's being brought in to lose, I'm telling you he could win this fight. That power punching, I'm going to say it again. If Glanton can land flush early and make Opetaia respect his hand speed and power, it could slow down the Aussie rhythm. He's durable as hell. His only loss on points. You know what I'm saying? He's only lost on points, people. And has never been stopped. That toughness could keep him in later rounds. So for me trying to figure out a winning scenario for Glanton, he got to force a rough inside fight. He's got to make Opetaia uncomfortable. He's got to foul him. He got to do whatever it takes, man, to have Opetaia more worried about fouls and getting hit and hurt and elbowed and all that, and then cut the ring off and just try to land big shots when Opetaia loses focus, or when Opetaia is now kind of hesitant but then moves in and he's a split of a second off. If Glanton can capitalize on that, I think he has a good shot. A KO, I mean, that's unlikely, but anything can happen. But the most realistic path is just for him to get an upset. And as a matter of fact, I think for him to win, he's got to knock out Opetaia. That's the realistic path for him to get a victory into an upset. Somehow knock out Opetaia. But anything can happen, but again, I don't know. So when I take a look at it, man, and try to understand this by different categories like technical boxing, you got to favor Opetaia. Power and that swing potential where the momentum can shift at any time, you got to get out to Glanton. But when you look at recent form, how fighters have performed in the ring, you got to favor Opetaia. And when it comes to just the potential for greatness and being able to up it in a fight and regain the momentum to go on to get a victory, you got to favor Opetaia. But the person who can really shock the boxing world is Glanton, because not many people are expecting him to win. They're expecting Opetaia to win, which is understandable. So the odds, I'm going to just tell you, most projections see Opetaia as the likely winner, possibly by stoppage. But boxing allows for a punch-for-punch surprise, and that's what I'm saying. You cannot count out Glanton. Now, what the fight means? For Opetaia has a chance to make a big early statement in his Zuffa boxing debut and enhance his legacy by becoming the Cruiserweight Zuffa champion, or Zuffa Cruiserweight champion. And then for Glanton, I think it's a huge opportunity. On a big stage, big payday, major upset potential if he executes his game plan perfectly. But again, to try to be perfect against Opetaia, good luck with that. Now, this thing about Zuffa boxing, this is where it gets interesting, because I'm still trying to wrap my head around Zuffa boxing, man. You know, I'm being honest with you. You know, Jai Opetaia, he's still going to be allowed to fight and defend his belts. Like, although he's going to be a Zuffa, if he beats this guy, he'll be the Zuffa Cruiserweight champion. He'll still be able to go out there and pursue undisputed distinction at Cruiserweight by fighting for the belts that are outside of Zuffa, like the WBC, WBA. And for Jai Opetaia, he's the IBF champion, but a WBC, WBA, and WBO, to try to unify with his IBF and become the undisputed. But again, he has star power, and I think that's why they signed him. Because one, I think they knew they could get him for fairly cheap compared to what he was making. He's making a lot more with Zuffa, but not the kind of money that you think someone like Jai Opetaia will be getting paid. So he has that star power, and by him signing with Zuffa, he's giving them legitimacy. And I'm going to tell you this right now. Jai Opetaia publicly said the deal is exciting, and he sees Zuffa as a big opportunity, including broader exposure and fight options. So I'm going to be sitting back to see how this fight plays out on March 8th with him headlining the Zuffa boxing. I think it's going to be the fourth event in Las Vegas. And again, that fight's going to crown the inaugural Zuffa boxing Cruiserweight World Champion. And I just want to make sure that I foot stomp this. The Zuffa title is separate from the traditional belts like IBF, WBA, WBC, WBO. Opetaia still holds and can pursue the Ring Magazine titles outside of Zuffa titles, and he will still hold on to that IBF. I think he has the IBF and Ring Magazine titles. So Jai is still going to hold on to those titles and can go out there and still unify and become undisputed, but then also be the Zuffa Cruiserweight champion, which it's all a bit confusing, but, you know, it is what it is. What all this means for Opetaia's career, I think there's more pros than cons. He has major financial backing and promotional push with Zuffa, more events, visibility, especially in the U.S. market, and can still chase unification in traditional boxing titles, which the deal does allow. And that's the one thing that still has people kind of confused, because initially that wasn't going to be the case when it comes to Zuffa boxing. So some critics they're worried about Zuffa's model, promoting its own champions and titles, feel that could fragment boxing rather than unify it. Some boxing insiders call this approach, contentious. But hey, Zuffa's title system is new. Traditional sanctioning bodies might not recognize Zuffa champions because they want to make their money and shit. But just to be honest with you, Zuffa Boxing is the new promotional company created by Dana White, co-owned by Turki Al-Sheikh. and they're looking to run boxing events and have their own titles. And there's a lot of boxers out here who are excited about it, especially those guys who aren't that active and have pretty big names. You got to understand they have bottomless pockets. They got dough over there at Zuffa Boxing. So they're going to keep signing big names and bringing them over, and they're going to create their own world. And these sanctioning bodies should be nervous. They should be worried. You know what I'm saying? They make their money off of these fighters, and now it looks like fighters are no longer interested in paying sanctioning bodies all this money. A lot of them, I believe, will go over to Zuffa Boxing. So anyway, we'll see what happens here with Jai Opetaia, this Zuffa Boxing thing, and what's going to be next for him. But I was surprised to see that Zurdo Ramirez was kind of talking like Jai Opetaia isn't really, they're not too worried about Jai Opetaia. I tell you what, they better be worried about Jai Opetaia. Because Jai Opetaia, to me, is the big dog at Cruiserweight. And I can't wait to see what happens if he beats Glanton, if David Benavidez, if he beats Zurdo. If not, you got Jai Opetaia fighting David Benavidez. Let me tell you, that is a real fight. And to be honest with you, I kind of favor Jai in that fight. But you just don't know, because David Benavidez is a monster. Both of them dudes are monsters. Like, somebody gonna die in that fight. Anyway, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. I'm going to say it again. This guy right here, Mr. Aussie, oi, oi, oi. The Samoan Aussie, the Aussie Samoan, or however you want to say it. He gets busy. Kind of hard to vote against this guy. Anyway, y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.